Good morning, family. Tony here. Today is Wednesday, July the 9th. Hope everyone's doing well. We're under a heat wave here, and it is hot. Hotter than hot. I just want to get on here and encourage everyone that some of these high watch dates are coming up, and things are getting exciting. There's a lot of things happening in the world since the last time I've been on here. All the the Trump helping to take out the nuclear bases in Iran, and all kinds of stuff's happened. I've taken so long to make a video. I wanted to make more. I just haven't had the time. Been just so busy and having so many issues with my back and all. But a lot of things are going on, and these high watch dates are coming up. The first one, and I believe this is Mike Repo Man's, is July the 17th, and I think that I think there was more days to it than that, but that's the date I'm remembering now. I think that that's his Feast of Wine date on his calendar, the Feast of New Wine, and so a lot of people believe that the Feast of New Wine is the Rapture event date. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Dr. Barry's is in August. I think August the 2nd, 2nd, 3rd, I think. And so we're getting close to these dates. So, everybody just, do what you can to spread the word and keep looking up. I mean, these days may come and go, or it may happen. The Feast of Wine is a very interesting time because that was, used so often throughout the Bible. The Feast of Wine, the Festival of Wine, was used so much. New wine was a big deal, and it was one of the first feasts that they performed in the Israelites performed in the desert. It was, as a matter of fact, Dr. Barry explained that when they were down below the mountain making the golden calf, they were actually celebrating the Feast of Wine, the Feast of New Wine. Jesus' first miracle, like I said, was turning water into wine. And it's a very interesting story. The whole story about the wedding in Canaan, it was about a wedding. It was about wine, and then, the 9th of Av, when they, everything that happens, the curse that happened, and when the curse was lifted, they basically started celebrating the Tu B'Av, which is, the snatching of a bride from a vineyard. And there's a lot more to it, guys. I'm not going to get into all of it because, I can jibber jabber all day about it. But it's a very interesting story. The snatching of the bride, the new wine. The apostles were accused of drinking new wine. It's just so many things point to the Feast of New Wine. And it also falls in line for you guys that have followed my channel. Remember this, me saying this, because I've said it in many videos, that I was kind of we were all trying to figure out the moeds, the appointed times. I wanted to know if it was going to happen on one of God's 7 feast days. Now, I know there's more than 7 festivals that are celebrated to God, but there's only 7 that like the main 7, the seven that everybody always talks about, which includes Passover. My brain just went blank. The first. Hold on a second. I said it, but then it just wasn't ringing in my head. The Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, and the Feast of First Fruits, guys. Ooh, my brain. It's fried today. Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits. And then you got trumpets, tabernacles, atonement. Or not in that order. It's trumpets, atonement, and then tabernacle. So, you got and then in the middle you got the Passover. The Pentecost. Which, if the true Pentecost is the Feast of New Wine, then there's that. But remember when I was asking the Lord, is the rapture going to happen on one of the 7 feast days? And, those are feast days. Obviously, the Feast of New Wine is more than one day. So, there's that. And as soon as I had asked the prayer, and I said, in Jesus' name, lightning struck right in front of where I was praying, where I was looking in the sky. And this was a night where there was no storms. It was clear. But it was like right over the horizon, a big bright streak of lightning. So I said, Lord, was that you? Did you just confirm that? Because what I was asking him basically was it one of the seven? If not one of the seven, to give me a sign. That was how I was putting it to the Lord, so that I would, so I would know. And so, but then I started thinking, well, it could have been heat lightning. So, I mean, this is the only time it happened, but it could have been heat lightning, since that happens all the time. And I wasn't questioning the Lord. I said, Lord, I ain't questioning. I think that was you responding to me. But I said, could you give me a second sign, so I know for sure that wasn't just heat lightning, because it happens a lot, As soon as I said Jesus' name, a curly Q, a shooting star. I mean, I never seen anything like this. It was almost like a firework, but it wasn't a firework. I mean, it wasn't. What I'm saying is it swirled like a firework, but it was definitely not a firework, and it didn't make any sound anyways. It just went in a circle. And that's when the goosebumps really hit me. And, and I started thinking about it later, and the curly Q is the thing that always happens at the end of a video. It means, rewind. You ever see that? Now, sometimes it means it's just waiting, spinning. But when you see that little arrow go around, because that's all it did. It went around one time and stopped, or disappeared. It went and it disappeared. It formed a little curly Q, like when you hit replay. It was almost like the Lord would say, "Okay, I'm telling you again. I'm replaying it. I'm my confirmation." So, anyways, the Feast of New Wine could fit that too, because it's not on one particular day. It's on several days. So it's not one of the feast that happen. Anyways, there's that. I'm not take that how you want. But it doesn't matter, because, I can't be 100,000 million% sure. The Lord didn't speak to me, but it was certainly, the timing was absolutely astronomical, that especially since it was something, that curly Q shooting star thing is something you just don't see. It was some kind of natural phenomenon of some kind. So anyways, not yesterday, day before yesterday, I was behind a car on, when I was doing my routes, and the car said MCX 333. Now, y'all know that 333 to me is, Ezekiel 33:3. When you see the sword coming, the watchman warns the people. Well, we see the sword coming. We see all these calamities and things. We see the tribulation coming. That's the sword, the tribulation, the cataclysm. But I was perplexed with the letters, because in my mind I said, that looks like Roman numerals, MCX. I'm like, I don't know what it means. But I said, I felt like it meant something. In my spirit, in my heart, I felt like that was like a message to me or something. So I go home and I type it into Google or Gemini or something. And I said, what is MCX in Roman numerals? Turns out it's 1110. 1110 WBT is our news channel on the radio here. It's the biggest. It's like, it spreads, I don't know, it might be a 100-mile radius. I don't know, but it's big. 1110. So could that have been a message that we need to get the news out and warn the people? Well, guys, that's an obvious message that I didn't even need to see to know we need to do. We need to spread the gospel. We need to tell others, and because we got to get people on board, because the time is almost up. It's been rough on everybody. With my back and stuff, I've been having problems. I've been missing a lot of work due to the pain and things. And, Kevin's having problems. His wife had a minor heart attack, and they're dealing with that. Mike has all kinds of some physical things happening to him. It's just happening to everybody. It's like the devil is just showing his teeth because he knows we're about to leave. But anyways, guys, I don't really have much more to say than that, but I just want to get on here and say something, because it's getting crazy out there. I don't know what's going to happen in Israel. I really don't at this point. It's obvious that something big is about to happen. It could be when they sacrifice the red heifer, and that could happen right after the Feast of New Wine, and we could already be gone. So I don't even know. But I just know that we're close, and keep your eyes up. And again, it's July the 17th is Mike's, and I think it's August 2nd, 3rd is Dr. Barry's. But you can go back and watch his video if you want, because he goes into great detail. It's a great video. Great video, the last one. He actually did a kind of a summed up version, the last video. But the video before that was the long version. It was like 2 hours long, but it was in great detail. I mean, if you haven't seen that video, you need to see that video. But if you don't have 2 hours to sit down and watch it, he sums it up in the last video he did, and very well too. So, anyways, guys, I love y'all. I'm sorry, I just don't really feel good today, and I really don't have a whole lot to say, but except just keep watching. I love y'all. See you on the next video. Bye.